It's hard to show people their own history. After almost 50 years, I discovered this mural being in much better shape than I thought it would be. It was stored in a recreation room where kids used to play, and there are coke stains, not as much over here, but in through here. There's a big ping pong table right in front of here, and so most of the damage is in through here. And the most controversial figure, which took 8 months to clear, was this one. This was a Chinese husband who wore a pigtail because this was what everybody wore at the time. Well, it took 8 months for it to clear Washington, D.C., because people felt that it was a demeaning image. People didn't wear pigtails today. We shouldn't have pigtails. And the Chinese didn't want the pigtail in there. It just went on and on and on and on. And I refused to take it off. There are a lot of hidden things in this mural, like here. After the railroad workers were kicked out with the Chinese Exclusion Act, I tried to portray all that period when they burned down, for example, all of Tacoma. All of Chinatown and Tacoma was burned down. And all the Chinese were either killed or put on boats and sent to China. And the most discussed panel of all, and what made Chinatown San Francisco turn its back to me, was this particular panel of the two women, because one is drying fish and the other is picking shrimp with a baby on her back, which is what I used to see on the streets of Sacramento Street. Mothers who were waiting for their children to come out of school, out of NOMQ, and they'd be picking shrimp and doing all this stuff. But in 1950, the Chinese American woman and housewife felt that they wanted to forget all of that. Yeah. Because you see, all of these documents and all of that information is, as you know, very carefully hidden in layers and layers and layers of stuff. I mean, that was one of the reasons why I did this particular panel here, because this was the beginning of the unraveling of all the layers of paper names. Yeah. And this was even before 1962, of course. But it was at the beginning, right after the war, when people decided that, okay, my real name is such and such. And they started using it at schools and things like that. But before then, everybody was scared. I mean, I was scared. I was brought up knowing that I had a paper name. And because I had a paper name, we could have been deported any time. The next panel shows the evolution of the brick getting a little bit lighter and starting to come apart, and the keeping of tradition with the lion's dance, and then the Second World War. And in the Second World War, I have the American GI with all of the different units he served in, and then the paper names slowly being crumpled and destroyed, and all the memories of the Second World War being part of that too. And then this is another part that was very, very controversial, because since the 1950s was the tail end of the cinema period, where everybody sort of spilled their hopes in movies, and they lived through movies and went to movies every weekend and that kind of thing. I did a very Hollywood ending with Ping Yun at the end. And of course the second generation hated it because they felt it was demeaning and Uncle Tomming. Things haven't changed. You know, it's unfortunate, but things really haven't changed all that much.